What is a copyright and why should you even care about it? Today we're going over the basics of copyrights and figuring out how this applies to your business. If you create something for your business, maybe a caption, maybe a photo, anything that you're actually creating and putting into existence is something that is protected by copyright law. The idea of copyrights is that they're there to protect you as someone who is creating these original works, because as a society, we generally want to encourage new and original ideas to get out there into the world. And we want to protect those ideas so that more and more people are encouraged to participate. Copyrights are a really important part of your online or offline business. Anything that you're putting out there into the world that people can access, whether it's an Instagram caption or some photos for your marketing, all of these things are original works that you're creating and need to be protected. That way, if a competitor or someone else steals your photos or captions, there are consequences for those people and you are able to continue using your works and feeling safe doing so. We would never want someone to get confused between your business and a scam business that is parading around as an imposter of you or your business. The most common questions that people have that pop up around copyrights are whether or not they or someone else is infringing their work. To be honest, copyright law is one of the most simple but also difficult to apply forms of law. So if someone has copied you and you need to take down that infringing work, it is best to get in touch with a lawyer, especially if that infringing work is something that is pretty substantial, like a product or a course that you've created, and not just something that is temporary like an Instagram story. As the owner of the contract shop, I've had to deal with my fair share of copycats, both people that have ripped off our trademarks and copyrights. In fact, one copyright attorney even copy and pasted 6 of our mid-year sales emails into her own mid-year sale that conveniently happened a few weeks after ours. Of course, we noticed this, and the thing that we had to do in order to protect ourselves is register the copyrights. So you cannot sue anyone in the United States without a copyright registration. That is a new law on the books as of about a year and a half ago. So you do have to get those copyrights registered. I don't register anything as a collection. I think it's a waste of time and money. And so I had to go one by one and register each of these emails as their own individual work. That cost me $50 per email. 50 times 6, you do the math, it cost me $300 to send this person a cease and desist letter and tell her to F off because she was using all of my emails. Actually, if I want to take that further today, I still could because I got those copyright registrations. Now, that was a perfect example of when to register a copyright, but at $50 a pop, every single photo or caption or blog post that you produce might not be worth it to register. If that's the case, I would take a look at what your most popular works are, either through Pinterest, see what's being reshared the most, or on your blog. So if you have one blog post, like we have one blog post that just kills it, it's our second most visited page on our site, that's a really good idea to register with the Copyright Office as an individual work. One little kicker about registration, and the reason I'm really glad you're here watching this video, is because if you want to sue someone for copyright registration or just send them a nasty letter, you need to have that work registered within 3 months of its creation. Let's look at an example of this so you understand what I mean. If I have a picture taken of me on January 1st, then that is the date it is created. If I do not post that to Instagram until April 1st, and then someone steals it on April 2nd, I can't go out and sue that person for copyright infringement because I missed that 3-month deadline. However, I can go and register that photo since it's already been copied, and then anybody who copies me in the future or takes a screenshot and uses that photo in anything, another Instagram caption, a blog post, it doesn't matter where it's used. When I catch that new infringer using my stuff, I can go after them. The rule is really simple. You just have to apply for registration within 3 months of that work's creation. So the work is the blog post or the photo, or you have to get that work registered. So a little certificate has to get issued from the Copyright Office in the US prior to someone using it. So for example, if that photo had been taken again on January 1st, I got the registration on October 1st, and then on October 2nd, someone ripped me off, I could go after that person. However, that person that ripped me off on April 2nd, I'm not going to be able to go after them. Obviously, the idea behind this is the Copyright Office collects your money, so that's what they're after, and in exchange, they give you this protection. They want you to register early and often, which is why the rules are the way that they are. I hope you've enjoyed this little copyright primer. It's a very basic overview of copyright law, but I tried to hit on a lot of the highlights that I wish I had known as I started my business, because even as an intellectual property attorney, I went to law school for this, I practiced trademarks. Copyrights are kind of a difficult area, especially when you're not familiar with how they work on a day-to-day practical business basis, especially for small businesses. So I worked in a big company. Obviously, they had a bigger budget, and so I had a lot more leeway and play with our copyright litigation. And also, as the little guys here, I've had to tailor this content today to make sure that it applies to us and that I'm only hitting on the things that you really need to know about and not all the other boring stuff that might come into play. If you still have questions about copyrights, how to use them, when you're getting infringed, if you're infringing other people, drop those things in the comments below. We'll take those as future video suggestions because we upload every single week. So make sure you're liking, subscribing, and that you don't miss any of those future uploads. I'll see you next week.